Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we discuss royalty, born and bred, the flagship of the line from Rolex, the Oyster Perpetual Day-Date 2. Now, this is the Day-Date 2 that was made between 2008 and 2015. It's reference 218206. And although on paper only 1 millimeter smaller than the Day-Date 40, it is a much larger watch, in fact, and more massive in the hand. So how massive? Well, I put this on my scale, and with the links you see in the bracelet, it's 270.46 grams, so very nearly 10 ounces for those of us in the old colonies. The watch, 41 millimeters in diameter in PT950 platinum. In profile, it's actually fairly slim, 12.1 millimeters thick, lug-to-lug only counting the case, 49.5 millimeters, but if we include the solid end links, which the Day-Date 40 does not have, then the total distance across the wrist is 53.5 millimeters on the hollow end link or pivoted end link Day-Date 40. That's about 47.5 lug-to-lug because there's no additional extension of the end links. Here, because we have solid end links, 53.5. Also a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now I'm going to take my glove off for a moment because what's the point of a wrist shot if you cannot see the wrist? Throw the watch on my wrist. My goodness, you can really feel the weight of this thing. And it is like nothing else. There are few watches in the business that are as heavy as this. Though I will say, because it also has a platinum bracelet and clasp, it's well weighted top to bottom. Doesn't feel like it's going to shift around if your preference is to wear your watch loose. Taking a look down the barrel, you can see why I say this wears so much larger than the Day-Date 40. Those pivoted end links, adding a lot of span across the wrist, which is why I think if you want to wear one of these, you need a wrist my size or larger, so 16 centimeters circumference or larger, and you can see what I mean over the top, and then your cuff shot, which actually is quite sympathetic to tight sleeves. It will slide underneath the dress cuff. It's superb in that regard. I'm going to throw my glove back on real quickly. Now let me regale you with tales of things you can't see. So the first Rolex to use ceramic-coated bracelet assembly pins was the platinum version of the Day-Date 2, which I hold in my hand. The non-removable links, in other words, are fixed to each other using pins that are metal but coated with ceramic. And Rolex bracelet stretch has nothing to do with the links. It has to do with the thinning out of the pins that hold the links together. Now, because the platinum cannot aggress against and wear down the ceramic, the pins cannot thin. As a result, bracelet stretch is killed dead. Taking a look, you can see we have removable links fixed in place using screws. There are quite a few of them. We have a clasp that includes both polish and media blast. And then the crown clasp has gotten a bit more sophisticated as we have a little bit of a pivoted action. So once it latches down, you actually have to lift it up and unlock it. It's not simply a shim that you pull against until you snap it up. You actually have to unlatch it and then pull. So there's more security than there used to be on this President bracelet. You can see that the crown clasp, its signature is that it is the only visible break point between the two sides of the bracelet. While the Day-Date has, since its mid-50s debut, often been described as the Rolex President or Presidential, that's only been a nickname based on the illustrious history of owners, and it's always been the Day-Date formally, but the bracelet is formally the Rolex President bracelet. In my experience, it has that short link souplesse or soft feel and flexibility you get with the Jubilee dress bracelet, but because it is a 3-link design and fairly stout, it gives you the structural integrity of the 3-link Oyster sports bracelet. Solid end links conforming to the case. We've got a twin lock crown in platinum. You know that because it has one dot. Solid platinum disc case back. And it is a 100-meter water-resistant watch with a screw-down crown, blued radially arrayed numerals, and matching faceted blued baton-style hands. I'll wind this one up so you can see it in action. Now, the ice blue dial, sometimes described as glacier blue, has become much darker and more saturated over the years. It started as only slightly distinguishable from silver. And then this is sort of the midpoint of its journey to the exceptionally bright blue that it is today. You could see that it's more of a subtle silver blue hue, that it has a metallic sunburst grain brushed out from the center. Outboard, we have a little bit of a chemin de fer, or a railroad track, for reading the minutes as well as the seconds. We've got a day and we've got a date. You can see the watch features a hacking seconds function, so you can set it precisely to a reference time. Instantaneous jumping day and date, as well as a quick set in the intermediate position. We have double quick sets. You can set the date as well as the day in the same crown position. English language calendar. And inside, we have a caliber 3156 that was only used in this model. And it's a bidirectional automatic winder with the rotor on a jeweled staff that is super silent, along with Rolex's Teflon-coated reversing wheels. 4 Hertz, 31 joules, 48-hour power reserve, stop second, double quick set, free sprung with a full balance bridge to make it shock resistant, overcoil hairspring, Breguet profile shaped by hand, so in any physical position, gravity will more or less have the same effect, no effect on the timing of the watch. And that overcoil hairspring, made of an anti-magnetic alloy, niobium zirconium. The watch also featuring a COSC chronometer certification, as the movement would have been tested in 5 positions over 2 weeks, also to hot, cold, and isochronism. So the watch says superlative chronometer on the dial, and the movement inside is in fact a certified Swiss chronometer. There is a lot to love with this watch. Like I said, regal breeding. This is the king of Rolex watches. Rolex doesn't particularly have a reputation for dress watches, so much as it has a reputation for dressy sports watches, and that's the best way to describe the Day-Date and its little brother, the Datejust. It is a dressy sports watch, and just as tough internally as a sub. Externally, it has immense grace, but only if you've got the wrist and the muscle for it. Reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details. Rolex Certified Pre-Owned watches are backed and authenticated by Rolex. Should any reconditioning be necessary, it will be to a Rolex Certified standard, and any parts invested, Rolex Factory Original. Should the initial retail box, paper, and accessory set still accompany the watch, it will be included with the sale. But no matter what, a certified pre-owned box and paper set starts with an outer box, a leatherette travel pouch with suede lining, a warranty card that embodies the 2-year globally valid Rolex-backed warranty. Note, this is not a retail warranty, but backed by Rolex and actionable at any of its authorized points of sales and service. A leatherette wallet includes the warranty terms and conditions manual. A holographic hang tag marks this as a certified pre-owned Rolex watch, and a manual details Rolex's values as a company, the certified pre-owned program, care, feeding, service, and use of your Rolex, locations of points of sales and service, and details of Rolex.com. Rolex certified pre-owned watches are backed only by Rolex.